Hello, it is Saturday, and yes, I am once again back at school. Señorita Spencer and I were actually here today for the Pink Panther event. She and I gave this talk to the girls about the importance of self-care and self-love and positive self-talk, and so overall it went really well. And it also works out that I'm here today because I'm able to grab my week 3 reading log. I haven't read any more since I last talked to you guys, so I am still on page 360 of SCYTHE. So I am just going to fill this out. And if my total pages is 435 and I'm currently on page 360, then for my pages left to read, I should have 75 pages left, right? Did I do that? Did I do that math right? And if I divide that by 5 days, then that means I have 15 pages to read per day this week to make sure that I finish my book on time. While I'm here, I need to make copies of our EOC practice tests, so I thought that while I'm waiting for the copies to run, I can be using that little bit of time to read more of my book, so I'll do that for a little bit. So all of my copies are now done, and I was actually able to read 7 pages of my book while I was waiting for those, so that's 7 more pages than I had read before, so. Hello, it is Monday, and I guess I should go ahead and update you on all of the reading that I have not been doing. We've got Lily over here taking a little cat nap. This is the first time over the course of these 3 weeks that I have not been meeting my reading goals. Like I said, on Saturday, I read a total of 7 pages. And then yesterday, I read only a total of 4 pages. And then today, I've read like a couple of pages of this. My daily goal is to be reading 15 pages a day. So if I want to have this finished by the end of this week, I have a little bit of catching up to do. I did, though, want to go ahead and take a minute and talk about the first focus for the week, which I know that it says focus 5 and focus 6, and that is my bad. I thought that I was going to have like each focus from each week numbered 1 through 6, and then I changed my mind, but I forgot to change the paper, so anyway. The first focus for week 3 is theme. So the focus question is identify a theme or message in this book in a complete sentence, not simply a word. What does the author seem to be saying about this theme? So I know that the question says to make a sentence or a statement, right? Like what sort of thematic statement can you come to based on the kind of message that you think your author is trying to convey in your story? But as you're thinking about possible themes, it is okay to start with sort of a list of thematic ideas. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm just going to start making a list of possible thematic ideas that I feel have come up a lot in the, like, over the course of the story. And then by the end of this week, I can maybe come back to that list, come up with a more specific thematic statement of what I think the author is trying to say. So for Scythe, an obvious thematic idea is death. So I'm going to write that on my list. With that, the idea of like mortality versus immortality, compassion, violence, maybe nature. I could add sacrifice. So I just started listing like possible thematic ideas off to the side just as like some notes to myself. So maybe these are some things that I can continue to be paying attention to as I'm making notes over here. And then by the end of the week, I can like come back and fully answer that question. Okay, so I am about to do some actual reading now, and I'm actually about to start chapter 34, which is called The Second Most Painful Thing You'll Ever Do. And I'm just very intrigued by that, so.
What's up, guys? So I may have finished my second book already. I don't know what's gotten into me these days. I just like start a book and have to finish it within a few days. I'm not normally like this. My ELA class knows that in 2020, I think I read one book, maybe it was 0 books. I don't remember, we talked about it, I already forgot. So I did not read anything, not during quarantine, not at all last year, and now I've read 2 books in 2 weeks. I don't even know who I am. So I finished my second book. The book was called And Then She Was Gone. It was another murder mystery. I did not like it as much as I liked the first murder mystery that I read, but it was good. It was decent. I would still probably give it a 4 out of 5 stars. The only reason I wouldn't rate it as high as the first book is because the first book had some more unpredictable elements in it. This second book was a little bit more predictable. It's kind of similar to like Criminal Minds, if you guys have seen that, where you know the crime, you know what happened, and you're just trying to figure out who did it or like how it happened. I'm actually starting my third book. Let's see if I can finish this sucker this week. It is called Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. One review of the book says that it is a funny, fast-paced social satire about privilege in America. So I think it'll be interesting. I am taking a break from the... Okay, wind, calm down. I'm taking a break from the murder mystery vibes to kind of read something different. This book is supposed to be funny. It's a social justice type of book. I'll read you guys the back, that way you can kind of get an idea of what it's about. So it starts off saying what happens when you do the right thing for the wrong reason. Alex Chamberlain is a woman who gets what she wants and has made a living showing other women how to do the same. So she is shocked when her babysitter, Amira Tucker, is confronted while watching the Chamberlain's toddler one night in the aisles of their high-end supermarket. The store's security guard, seeing a young black woman out late with a white child, accuses Amira of kidnapping. A small crowd gathers, a bystander films everything, and Amira is furious and humiliated. Alex resolves to make things right. But Amira herself is aimless, broke, and weary of Alex's desire to help. At 25 years old, she is about to lose her health insurance and has no idea what to do with her life. When the video of Amira unearths someone from Alex's past, both women find themselves on a crash course that will upend everything they think they know about themselves and each other. So it sounds really good. I'm interested to see how it goes. Obviously it's a popular book, so it's got to be good. It's definitely a change from the murder mysteries that I was reading. So as of right now, I would probably rate it at least a 4 out of 5, just based on popularity. I know you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but look at how cute it is. That's the main reason I picked it up at the bookstore, and then it sounded good, so I was like, all right, this is a keeper. I hope that everyone's reading is going well so far. I hope you guys like your books. Yeah, it's our last week, so I hope it goes well. I'm excited to see what everyone's projects end up being. We only have about 4 weeks left of school, so let's get it.
Hi, it is later, and I have actually finished. I haven't finished the book. I have not finished the book, but I did finish my page goal for today. I'm not fully caught up to where I should be for this week, but I am pretty satisfied with my progress. So I read 26 pages today, which was over my daily goal of 15 pages. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. So I stopped on page 396, right at part 5, which is called SCYTHE. I have continued making some notes, and I've actually come across some really interesting passages. Oh, also I cried again. There have been several like twists and turns, which I feel like that's something I've been saying for this entire book. And some of it I've sort of suspected, and some of it has come as a surprise. Okay, so real quick, I'm actually gonna add a couple of additional thematic ideas to the list that I started earlier that sort of came up as I was reading. So I've mentioned the idea of bias before, so I'm gonna add that. I'm also going to add the word guilt. Oh, humanity, which was said multiple times, and empathy. So I've definitely got a solid list of thematic ideas to kind of work with. The last thing I wanted to talk about very quickly before I end this vlog is actually your choice book research question brainstorming graphic organizer, because this is our last week to sort of be adding ideas to this, and then next week we're kind of jumping into the research process. So I thought that I would take a little bit of time to talk through some of the things that I've added to my graphic organizer, and maybe that would give you guys some ideas of what all else you can add to your graphic organizer. So first, I want you to notice that I do not have every single box filled out. I have chosen a few of the different categories that I am most interested in, or that I found most relevant to potential research topics for my book. So you do not have to fill out like this entire thing, okay? The idea is that you are generating multiple ideas and then sort of narrowing in on one that you think will work for your project. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have this entire thing filled out. So in the first column for characters or like character traits, I wrote violence of human nature, and my possible question was, to what extent are violent tendencies a part of human nature? Which is like a big question. For setting and historical context, I wrote dystopia. We know that Scythe is a dystopian novel, and so maybe this particular genre of novel, the setting of it is something that I'm interested in researching. So my question for that is simply, what are the characteristics of a dystopian society? So then I jumped over to the thematic ideas column and put in a few of the thematic ideas that I've already talked about. So I included compassion, violence, and mortality as possible topics. And then my possible questions are, why do people feel compassion? And what impacts does mortality have on human behavior? So I think like kind of the psychology behind those things would be interesting. Then in the objects and symbols column, I included scythe, obviously. This right here is a scythe, right? Like the person in this society is also called a scythe, but originally this tool is a scythe. So I would be interested in doing some research on a scythe as an object. So my questions for that are, what are/were the purposes of a scythe? And how or why has a scythe become a symbol of death? And actually, of all of these questions, the one that I am most interested in is the last one, which is, how has a scythe become a symbol of death? And so I went ahead and actually started filling out some information in the preliminary research section. So I just did a quick Google search of like, what is a scythe? Where do scythes come from? Scythe and death, right? So I made a note that a scythe was originally a tool used for cutting crops and has become closely related to the Grim Reaper because death reaps the souls of sinners. There was also something about like Kronos, I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but the harvest god carried a sickle, which is a similar tool. So I'm already seeing like some different ways that I could explore this topic of scythes for my research. As we go into the rest of this week, be thinking about all the ways that you can be adding to your graphic organizer and to your week 3 reading log. Otherwise, I think that I will go ahead and wrap things up here. Happy reading, and I will talk to you guys soon.